Hello and welcome back to Buzby Gaming. I'm Tony, and today we're going to play Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. I played the first one. I've always been more of a fan of the video games, but I enjoy the tabletop game as well. We'll get into it more as we play the game. I'm pretty sure there'll be a chance for us to catch up on the history of this. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? If this is your first Warhammer game, you have missed way too much. Because literally, the lore goes back to, like, even though this is, like, way into the future, the story of, you know, the war between orcs and humanity goes way back to, like, the Middle Ages. Now, the first Warhammer game I played was Shadow of the Hornrat, which is way back on PS1. I sucked at it. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I was a very young and naive child. But that was my first Warhammer game. Damn right we are. Time to fuck some shit up. Yeah, my favorite weapon, the chain sword. I don't think an Ultramarine will get taken out that way. Just saying. Especially Titus. We're playing as Titus, which I assume that we are, even though in my drunken stupor I know storytelling. Secretly we're playing as Titus. And there's no way that he would be taken out of his ship in such a way.
Kill team leader to squad. Box check. Repeat. Kill team leader to squad. Confirm Vox contact.
We have crashed. It's from your position.
Why does he sound like an orc?
Lost contact with brother.
There's a lot of aliens over there, buddy. I hate tutorials so much. Why can't you just throw me into the shit and let me figure it out? Here's the thing, is that I know that the screen is going to pause and it's going to tell me buttons to push. I don't need tutorials. I played the first game. Yeah, let's fucking kill some shit, okay? First 30 seconds, you know? We gotta make this entertaining here. Yeah. Fucking... Welcome to the deli, bitch. Get yourself some slices. I don't care about any of that. Let me kill some shit. Bring it, bitches. Die! Chop suey! Yeah. Bring it. Parry. Perfect parry. Crunchies. You look crunchy. Chainsaw you and your buddies, and I'll grab you in the air, slam you down, and then chainsaw your brother and his twin. We're all good. Oh, yeah. More guys to fight. Chainsaw! Oh, yeah. I really want to fight the Gene Stealers. That was like the first enemy that I know of in Warhammer 40k. Because like I said, I'm not really I'm a fan of the whole franchise, but I'm not really a fan of the tabletop game. The only part of the lore that I know of, there's large gaps in my knowledge. I will put it to, oh shit. There are large gaps in my knowledge, okay? But I know that it went from the Middle Ages and we've been, you know, the human beings have been fighting Orks for a long time, and that was the main enemy of the first game. But it's one of those things where I don't know when exactly the aliens got put in to the mix, but I do know is that on the weekends I used to watch my brothers Dave and Gabe play
You must reach that bomb.
yeah, no shit.
I will, even if I have to chew my way through.
I used to watch my brothers Dave and Gabe play Space Hulk is what I remember what it was called. Space Hulk, Blood Angels or something like that. I never really played it myself because it looked frustrating. Like the most frustrating game I've ever played was XCOM, where you had to use like time units and shit like that. And I imagine that's kind of what the real life tabletop game would be like. So, but again, like I enjoy watching people play the tabletop game and talk shit and all that shit. Like it's more fun to me, weird brained as I am, it's more fun to me to like sit back and have a few drinks and watch people talk shit and go at it, you know, playing the game rather than play it myself, because I don't understand all the intricacies and all the wars or all the rules of, you know, having these wars and shit. So
This bolter will roar in your name, Darius.
it's one of those things where, you know, to me anyway, it's just funner to watch than it is to play. And then on these games, like video games is where my franchise is, like where the franchise is to me. And I know it's more of a tabletop game crowd than anything. And I want to. Okay, yeah, we're gonna do that, dude. It's totally fine. We cannot hear you. I don't know why, or we can't respond. We don't need to hear what you're saying.
If we fail to launch that bomb, there will be nothing to stop the Tyranids.
Alright, don't worry, we'll be just fine.
Almost at the crash site. Just make sure the launcher is still standing when I get there. I will hold the line for as long as I can.
Jeez, stop with the tutorial shit, okay? Just let me play. Yeah, but in Space Hulk, it's way different. Like, obviously it's in first person, and there has been first person Warhammer 40k games in the past, but it's a little bit different, and it's extra like strategic in a way that, you know, I don't know, it's kind of difficult to explain. Like, you could play from like a top-down perspective, like looking down at the chess pieces, but also you can go into a first-person perspective in Space Hulk, and it was just, I don't know, man. It was one of those things where on the weekend in the 90s, you got nothing to do, you got nowhere to go, you have no responsibilities, and just watching your brothers play this spooky ass game in the middle of the night in pitch darkness, it gets to you, dude. And in the same kind of atmosphere and feeling that, you know, XCOM did back in the day. It's just like it gets you immersed in it. And it was strange because like every other child, I actually rather play games than watch other people play games. But in this case, in particular, I could literally watch my brothers play that game all night, all day. And it was like one of those things where it was just fascinating to watch because
Kill team, I am at the crash site.
you become invested in it in a way. And it's strange. For people that don't know what I'm talking about, it's strange. It sounds strange. But if you ever have the chance, you know, go to your local mom and pop shop and get a PS1 and go on eBay or, you know, other means and find yourself a copy of Warhammer 40k Space Hulk Blood Angels and just try and play it. Okay. Now, for you younger bucks, you are going to be.
You have honored the Imperium with your devotion.
You're going to be having a hard time. It is a very hard, very steep learning curve of a game, but it's rewarding once you learn how to play it. It's a strategic game. It's a game of timing. And obviously it's on the PS1, so it's not like, absolutely graphically awesome. They can't hear you, dude.
Is that as hard as your bite, Xenos? Come on!
They cannot hear you. But yeah, it's one of those games where
Your death will not go unpunished.
no, it won't. Half the man you used to be. Shit, there's another guy. Didn't I grab a Volter? But yeah, the younger crowd, like the older guys that are like me, that grew up in the 90s, either you watched it or played it yourself. Those old school, strategic games that they're kind of in a way a lot like Bloodborne or something like Demon Soul, in a way that they are hard. The difficulty is ramped up in order to expand the time you have playing it, and it's complicated on purpose, and it forces you to get better at it. Otherwise, you're just not going to advance. It is that old school. There is no participation trophy in these two games, and I know XCOM really has nothing to do with this, but in a way it does, because it kind of has a tabletop, bit to it, like the way time units work and shit like that. But the end all be all is if you find a way to get a PS1 and a copy of Space Hulk, no judgments how you do that. Do it legitimately, but obviously I support legal means, but if you find a way, you should happen to find a way to be able to play it. It is a very fun game once you get into the swing of it. It's just, like I said, you are gonna get your ass kicked at first. I know every time I go from looking at the screen and looking at the camera, my eyes are kind of going wonky. I'm pretty fucked up. I'll be honest with you. I'm about I don't know. I had like a 350 something milliliter, 357 milliliter thing of whiskey and 2 mixed drink. I'm floating pretty good. Your boy is on cloud 9, so I'm just having a good time playing this game and bullshitting with you guys. But yeah, I what the fuck is that?
Your emperor well, brother.
You got eated by rats. Thank you for your rifle.
Record log. To any Imperial unit that recovers this log, my kill team crash landed off course. My brothers are all dead.
I would love to have a 60 round mag.
Tyranids. I have the virus bomb. Moving to the orbital launcher. We'll fire into stratosphere where it will disperse over Tyranid positions.
Nobody can hear you. Your comms are literally fucked, and you are completely on your own. But you have retrieved the archive record viewer, and that's all that really matters. And like I said, you older bastards that play that original game, you'll get that joke. You younger guys probably won't, and that's okay. But we're gonna break you in, and we're gonna do it right. like I said, if you want to be the type of dude that, you know, loves them old school games and the strategies and just all the shit that goes along with it, you got to check out those old school PS1 games. If you're a gamer, okay, and you have not ever played an older console game, like, and by older I mean like older than GameCube, you're not really a gamer, in my opinion. I got some people that are like, oh, I'm a gamer, and then all they have is like mobile games on their phone. You're not really. Not really. I mean, like, you're in the neighborhood, you know. What's the saying? The council recognizes you, but you'll never achieve the rank of a Jedi. That's what I mean by that. Like, yeah, we recognize you as a gamer. I don't give a fuck what this guy's saying anymore. Nobody can hear you. We can't either. We recognize you as a gamer, but you're not really, like, you know, you gotta graduate up. You gotta pay your dues. And if you grew up playing Call of Duty and Medal of Honor, like I said, man, you're a little behind. You gotta step that shit up again. You know, you gotta, those are rookie numbers. You gotta push those numbers up. You know what I mean? Nothing to be ashamed of. See, the thing is that a lot of you guys, you're young. You know what I mean? Like, you don't fully understand. Back in the day, there was no patches for games. Like, if you got a game, I want to say it was like $39.99 or $49.99 back in the day. But if, say, you bought a game and you put your time and your funding into that game, and it was fucked up, there was no patches. There was no quick fixes. If you encountered a game-breaking bug, you're fucked. That's all there was. I mean, there was no fixes. Like, you had, like, online, like, maybe, like, I guess, like, in the later 90s. You know, you had, like, AOL. If that tells you how old I fucking am. I'm gonna be 36 this year. Here in probably about a week, 2 weeks, I'm gonna be 36. Fuck. Man. I just really got depressed all of a sudden. But I mean, back in the day, man, there was no patches. Like, for example, Tony Hawk, I think it was like Tony Hawk 5 or some shit like that. They released the game on disc, but immediately when you put the disc into your console, you downloaded a 5 gigabyte patch, which actually was the game. The disc had nothing on it. Nothing. The game was not on the disc. It was literally patched and pieced together the last minute. The developer uploaded a patch that was the actual game itself. You couldn't do that shit back in the day. It was one of those things where, you know, either the game was on the disc and or cartridge, or it fucking wasn't. And any errors, glitches, bugs, you just had to live with it. Man, even the computer won't shut the fuck up. So, alright, so say you had a game that you loved. We'll say like Metal Gear Solid on the PS1. Say you, I'm gonna fuck these guys up here in a second, but I just want to explain this to you younger folks. So you had Metal Gear Solid 1 on the PSX or the PS1 back in the day, and there was a fuck up in that game. There was a problem, it didn't run, or there was game breaking glitch that you could not get past a certain point. You had to either restart the game entirely from the beginning and try to not replicate that same problem that you had, which could mean backtracking potentially hours. And back in those days when we were kids, That could mean like days or weekends in some cases for some of these, longer games. It wasn't until like a game got a greatest hits version or a game of the year version, I guess you would call it back then, where they got like a 1.1, they would update it slightly. But that's the problem between games today and games back then. Games back then, they truly play tested them. They made sure that they were ready to market and that they were playable, no real big major game breaking bugs back in those days. Because literally your company, in a lot of ways, it relied on it. Because if you released a game, like let's just say, what's one that really fucked up? The Day Before. The Day Before was a game that was like majorly hyped. Everybody was on the fence about it, and they were all like, "This has to be a scam," and yada yada yada. Even though it wasn't really a scam, but it was false advertising at the very least. I'll say that game released in the 90s, and you paid $50 for it, and you're a kid, so you either earn that money by a birthday or doing chores, or maybe your parents were just feeling good that weekend and they got you that game, and you didn't have a way to refund it. You had no way to take it back. You had no way to trade. You probably traded in like a Gamers or a GameStop or an equivalent back then. But the whole reason I'm talking is because most people that want to play this game have probably played this opening sequence. But you didn't have that shit back in the day where you can go and just return a game. As soon as you ripped the plastic off that game, it was yours. Right, wrong, or indifferent, whether the only way I think that they would take a game back is if it was physically damaged or unplayable. Like if they had store models of consoles back then. They still have it in Walmart now, and they would plug your cartridge in. If it played at their store, they wouldn't accept it. If they plugged into their console and it didn't play and it was reporting the same problems, maybe they would take it back. But there was always a big, by the way. There's always a big by the way. You could never just exchange your shit. Like I did a giveaway, for example, with Resident Evil 4 about a year ago, the remake. And one of the people that won didn't want it for the console in which I bought it for. So I bought it for Xbox, the highest end X, Series X, S, and PS5. And the person who got it for the Xbox literally asked me, or they requested that their price be for the Xbox. And then they, when I get their mailing information, they're all of a sudden like, oh, well, I don't want the Xbox version, I want the PC version. And unfortunately, I'm a little bit too much of a nice guy. And I went all the way to the store, and thankfully, Walmart took the game back because it was still wrapped. And I didn't want to, I didn't want to disappoint this person, because, here's the thing, with my channel, man, I appreciate every one of you guys, and when I give you something, when I do a giveaway, I want you to be happy. If you lose, obviously, there's always going to be a winner and a loser when it comes to giveaways, but when you win, I want you to be satisfied that you won. I want you to be happy with your oh shit. I want you to be happy with your winnings, And when someone is, I don't know, when they're like, oh well, I said this one, and they won. They literally won the contest, and it wasn't like a big major contest or anything. It was just, tell a story or whatever. But the fact that they wanted a different version, I went along with it, and I really shouldn't have. I really just should have said, hey, it's for Xbox only. We already gave away the PS5 version. There is no PC version. It was just Xbox and PS5. And I should have just left it at that. But the problem is that I didn't. You know, I guess deep down I'm a people pleaser, and I went and I got this guy a digital PC code for you know, the PS or the fucking Resident Evil. But it was one of those things, man, where I really wish I hadn't, because it ended up costing me more. In some weird way, for some strange reason, like if I go to my Walmart and I buy a physical game versus like getting a gift card for the same amount, obviously you can't buy a gift card for the amount of which a game is. So for example, if a game is $69.99, you can't get a card for $70 because it won't cover it. So I had to go and pay more for the card to send off to this guy to ensure that he got a PC version of the game that he won, even though he asked me for the version. And all be all, I'm sitting here complaining about some shit that really doesn't matter. In the end, he got what he wanted, and I gave away somewhat what I wanted. And if you're wondering, if you've been here since the beginning, if you're wondering why I haven't done giveaways in about a year, that's why. It's because I set rules very clearly. Like, this is what I have, this is what you can win, and this is how you win it, and this is the date that I'm going to tell you when the winner is. And I would have people 3-4 weeks later asking me, hey, who is the winner of this? I'm like, dude, I posted that video 3 weeks ago. The whole point of the giveaway, it's a two-pronged system here, okay? It's also, in a way, it is rewarding people who watch and who subscribe and who stick with the channel. You know, like we're a group here. We're hanging out. That's what I want to do with this. I want to make a community out of this channel, and that was one way to get people in. You know, I'm not gonna be any kind of shameful about it. It was just, that's how it was. In the end, you would get a game that you want, and you know, you would join our community. It was just a cool way kind of for me to give back, you know. And like I said, with the two-pronged system, not only was it me giving back, it was also drawing new attention to the channel, which, me being a small channel that isn't monetized, I kind of need all the help I can get. But just that one instance of someone taking advantage of my generosity, it kind of soured me on it. And I'm not saying I'm never going to do it again, but it's one of those things where I don't know, it just soured me on it. And I do want to do giveaways. Maybe we'll do a Halloween one. I'm not entirely sure. But it's just, yeah, it was one of those things where one bad apple spoils the bunch. And I did giveaways before that. Like, I did a Halloween pack. I did the year before, I did a Halloween pack. And then I did like a PS1 and an N64 giveaway, and everything went fine. It was just, for some reason, this one person, I'm not going to name who they are, but they kind of took advantage of it. But also, I leaned into it as well. I can't really say it's entirely that one person's fault, because I am, at my core, a people pleaser. You know, I want everybody to have a good time. I want everybody to feel like they're treated right. That's my weakness, I guess. And yeah, with this, it's just, I don't know. I mean, what would you guys want for a giveaway? Because I got something to announce at the end of this video that, I don't know, some people may like and some people may not like. But yeah, it's kind of a fairly big announcement for the channel, but I don't expect a lot of people to be, you know, 40 minutes into the video to still be here. But you know, I want to say it loud and proud here at the end what the plans for the channel are, and I'll wait to the end. I do hate these parts in games that, you know, it's not based on skill. It's like basically you have to die or be near death to pass the level. I hate that shit. It was like the first time I had that, what was it? In Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice or something like that. Like you have to fight until you die at the end. And it's like you don't get the ending until you die. It's so dumb. I hate games that do that shit. It's I don't know. It's so frustrating. Because in Sekiro, shadows die twice. Even if you're really good at the beginning, there's still a cutscene to show like your arm's still getting cut off. By the dude, it's been so long since I played that game. But, you know, at least there's like a leeway in such a way that whether you're defeated or whether you win, the story goes on. But that's not the case right here. You have to die in order to advance, which I think is kind of shit, in my opinion. But I got a feeling we're in for a long cutscene since that was the opening level.
Praise the Emperor. The wound was fatal. You survived only through the Rubicon surgery. We remade you. You are a Primaris now.
Why?
Lord Calgar issued the command himself.
Is he here?
Gone. Summoned by the Primarch.
I must get back to the Watch Fortress.
You have been reassigned.
My place is with the Death Watch.
The Inquisition can find no stain on you. Titus, accused of heresy. You have served penance in the Death Watch for almost a century, and not once have you faltered. But you will never know redemption until you have faced the judgment of your brothers. Prove yourself to us and know true absolution.
Omega. I like the Terminator Squad. That's the most badass squad, in my opinion.
What is your life?
My honor is my life.
What is your fate?
My duty is my fate.
What is your fear?
My fear is to fail.
What is your reward?
My salvation is my reward.
So fucking cool. Connection lost. What the fuck?
What is your craft?
My craft is death.
What is your pledge?
Why do games keep
My
crashing on me, man? I don't get it.
Eternal service.
Warhammer 40k Space Marines 2. Yep.
The Rubicon surgery has remade you as a Primaris Marine. You are now stronger, faster, and more resilient. You will take your place as an Ultramarine once more. Your brothers will know that you served in the Death Watch, but your dishonorable status as a Black Shield has been redacted from the archives.
The archive record viewer.
Questions. Lord Kelgar has offered you a second chance. Do not taint it.
Space Marines are so badass, I'll tell you. But anyway, I think that's a good point to leave off on this one. Yeah, let's pause that. This is a good place to leave off for this first video. I do want to play the co-op portion of this game with my brother Dave. But the big announcement that I want to tell you guys at the end of this video was Silent Hill 2, the remake, on, I want to say it's October 6th, that weekend. So I think I'm going to get the 2-day early access, which is, will be the weekend prior to the release. That is going to be my last scheduled horror game video. And what I mean by that is I'm going to try and be more diverse in the content that I create. I do like gaming, but the original idea for this channel, and it has not come to complete fruition, is the whole idea with Buzby Gaming was to play games with my family. Buzby's my last name. Buzby Gaming, yeah, you get the gist. But COVID hit, and I've done very few videos with my family. Viewership and analytic wise, non-gaming stuff seems to get more views. So I'm going to be kind of leaning more to that. I'm not, like I said, I'm not abandoning gaming content. This is very much a gaming channel, and if I find something interesting I want to do a video on, gaming wise, I'm certainly going to do it. It's pretty clear to me that though it is a gaming channel, I mean, I'm busting my balls, and I'm uploading 6-part videos, and they're struggling. They are struggling to hit 60 views a piece. But then I throw a video out that has nothing to do with gaming, and it gets thousands of views. And I don't know. I think maybe I'm a small fish in a big pond, and I just need to diversify a little bit. And that's my current plan. I mean, obviously, if that doesn't work out, there's always, you know, a rollback that can happen. And like I said multiple times already, I'm not giving up on gaming. I'm just kind of gonna put it in the passenger seat for a little bit just to see how things work out. But anyway, that's all I have for you guys in this video. Take care. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.